I moved to the Rockies 3 months ago now because I have a job I can work remotely, and the cost of living here is just so much lower. And there's a number of other things that I like. Obviously, it's a lot easier to social distance here, and I like social distancing not only because of the pandemic, but because of my own personal pandemic of social anxiety. Right. I do like to mingle, but I don't like big crowds. I think I'm going to be pretty upset the day we go back to 100% capacity. I'm kind of enjoying the 50% capacity at the moment. I feel kind of like I talked about this in another video, but there's an episode of South Park called "Summer Sucks," where a lot of summer activities got canceled, and Cartman had the blast of his life because he got to go to the swimming pool by himself. Because he had he didn't like how the younger kids behaved in the swimming pool, and finally things go back to normal and kids jump in the pool and he's really upset. I feel when we go back to 100% capacity, I'm gonna feel that way. That's been my metaphor, but I'm practicing 50% capacity and I really like it. But when I first moved to the Rockies, the first thing I noticed was that when I went out by myself, when I went to a restaurant, when I went to the bowling alley — I've been taking up bowling recently, or just anywhere, really, people have been a lot more accepting of the fact that I'm going out by myself. Over in Seattle, you go to a bowling alley by yourself, people instantly judge. A, they judge you. B, they want to quote unquote correct you, right? They want you to meet somebody. They are interested in you, especially in Seattle. If you go out to the bowling alley at midnight in Seattle, it's an instant invitation for any gay person to just mercilessly harass you, right? Here in the Rockies, it doesn't seem to be that big of a problem. But I talk about why single lives matter, but it's not just for the singles. I think part of the reason divorce rates are so high is because people get pressured to get married. And so they marry somebody who isn't really appropriate to marry, and not surprisingly, they divorce, right? What's even more tragic is that they have children before they get divorced, right? There's a lot of pressure to have children as well. And I think that if we stop marginalizing single people, people won't be pressured into getting into marriages that aren't suited for them. I bet divorce rates would drop. And I looked up divorce rates here in Montana. It's significantly lower than in the cities. And I think a big reason why is that there's a lot less stigma to the idea of being single, right? An even more dramatic case is over in Japan. There's a whole lot less stigma of being single, right? Actually, when I looked up the idea of being solosexual, Japan is big on that. Here in the U.S., actually, I forget the name of the case, but back in the 80s, there was this guy who challenged the tax code. He claimed he was married to himself. So if you look carefully at your tax returns, it will say on there, are you married to somebody other than yourself? Next time, look carefully at your tax return. Apparently, one of the instructions now clarifies that. So even the tax code has to in the ideal world, right? Everybody would pay taxes as an individual, right? Who you marry should not be the government's business, right? We shouldn't have any laws relating to marriages, right? That would be the ideal world, right? But that's a pipe dream for now. The next best thing is that we should stop stigmatizing single people so that people can make optimal family decisions, right? Any sort of pressure to make a rash decision. See, a year ago today, I was dating a girl and we were probably going to get married, but I think that was a very pressured decision on both of our parts. I'm lucky that we were saved by the fact that we needed to be 6 feet apart, and we realized how much nicer that was, right? And we're still very close, and we still share a lot of wisdom, but we're not marriage material. And I'm glad that it turned out that way, right? I hope this pandemic can and can cause a lot of people to make that rash realization, and more importantly, for people to realize that anytime you stigmatize one group of people, everybody else also suffers, right? Thanks for watching.